Good evening. It's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, including Facebook and on YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully I'll be able to go through them all as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with a look at our current watches and warnings. And as of a few hours ago, all of the severe thunderstorm watches across the tri-state have been canceled. So the severe weather threat is over. It was just really for that short time period we were watching those broken lines of storms moving in from the northwest, which thankfully started to fizzle out after they crossed out of Gibson County. And I'll go through a little recap of the storms today. But here's a look at the setup across the United States. We have this frontal boundary that's anchored from the Central Plains that kicks up into the Great Lakes region. And just below that, we had this little MCV, or mesoscale vortex, which is just this little piece of energy that kind of rides in along the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. And that's what's really kicked up those chances for showers and storms. If you remember yesterday, we were looking at a lower end threat for severe weather compared to what we woke up to earlier this morning when we got upgraded to that level 2 out of 5. And it was because the models weren't quite exactly sure on exactly where that MCV was going to set up. But as we got closer, of course, it made a little bit more sense to go ahead and upgrade those severe weather threats. But thankfully, that is pushed off to our north and east, and now we are all set through the rest of the night. We may still see a few lingering rain showers in a few spots as some of that leftover energy ejects off to our east, but many of us will stay dry through the overnight hours. But here's a little bit of a time lapse, a 12-hour time lapse. We woke up to some showers and storms earlier this morning. Some of them were strong. We did catch a severe thunderstorm warning earlier this morning in Perry County, and then as we went through the afternoon, we caught a severe thunderstorm warning up towards Du Bois County for some damaging winds. But then the main threat there was that little piece of storms that moved in across Wayne, Edwards, and Wabash County, and then once it crossed into Gibson, Posey, and Pike County, it started to fizzle out there. So we are all set through the rest of the night tonight. Here's a look at the future radar. We'll hold on to partly to mostly cloudy skies, and that'll lead us into at least somewhat of a cloudier start tomorrow, but the clouds will dissipate through tomorrow afternoon. But even with some of the cloud cover, we did warm back up into the low to mid 80s across the tri-state, 84 degrees in Evansville, 85 in Bowling Green. You can kind of see where that frontal boundary was stationed just by looking at our temperatures. You could see where that frontal boundary was hanging out, where we had clouds and rain throughout the entire the day. That was out towards Springfield into Indianapolis, up towards Columbus and Pittsburgh, where temperatures remained in the 70s. But just to the south and to the north, temperatures got up into the 80s. So that's kind of the impact cloud cover and rain can have over an area. But even with temperatures a little bit cooler to our north, we still warmed up a good bit. We're around 7 degrees above average earlier this afternoon, and we'll continue to warm up headed into tomorrow. Now, we've cooled down a good bit. We've dropped down mostly into the upper 60s along the northern fringes of the tri-state, 67 in Fairfield and Mount Carmel and Oakland City. We're sitting at around 76 here in the Evansville area, so nearly a 10-degree difference between those locations. And then it gets a little bit warmer, actually cooler farther to our south, 69 out towards Dundee across western Kentucky. And most of us will drop down into the mid to upper 60s overnight tonight. Tomorrow we warm up with cloud cover in the morning, then we'll start to see mostly sunny skies pop out through the afternoon. With that sunshine, winds coming up from the south, that'll help advect in that warmer air. So it's going to feel like summer. Temperatures climb up into the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees for tomorrow afternoon. And taking a look at the future radar through tomorrow, you can see some of that cloud cover hangs around through early tomorrow morning. Not everyone sees it, but it does dissipate very quickly there, and we'll have full-on sunshine through the late morning hours and throughout the entirety of the afternoon. So no rain tomorrow. It's going to be a sunny, hot day across the tri-state. Now, we do pick up some rain chances headed into the beginning of the work week, but let's talk about those temperatures, though. Still hanging out in the upper 80s Monday and into Tuesday, and that's going to be all out ahead of another slow-moving cold cold front that's going to be climbing in from the west. So we'll have cooler temperatures through the middle and end of the work week, dropping down into the 70s there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we may drop or bump back up into and around 80 degrees for the start of next weekend. So let's track out, that frontal boundary for next week. On Monday, we don't really have anything organized. I think it's just going to be more of that heating of the day type of shower or thunderstorm activity where it's just hot in the afternoon and it's humid enough to where it just convects on its own. So that'll be a fairly isolated shot. So not many folks will see anything, but I think the better chances for the widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms will be on Tuesday afternoon and into Tuesday evening. And then that front sinks to our south by Wednesday morning. So we'll still have some lingering showers waking up Wednesday morning, but we should be largely dry through Wednesday afternoon. And then high pressure will build in here from the north Thursday and into Friday. And it's that northerly direction from the winds that's going to help cool us back down briefly to around average. And then headed into next weekend, it already looks like we'll have some more southerly flow lifting up here. So that's going to increase our rain chances, warm our temperatures back up, and it may get a little bit hot and humid as well. So keep that in mind. Now, any severe weather risks that we have next week, I think the best chance to see any severe weather would be on Tuesday. At this point in time, most of the tri-state is not outlooked. We just have our folks in southern Illinois outlooked in that slight risk for severe thunderstorms. Now, this area may shift a little bit more to the west or to the east. We'll have a better idea and handle on that Sunday and on Monday. But as of right now, widespread severe weather isn't expected for Tuesday, but we may still pop an alert on there depending on how all the ingredients come together and what the threats look like, but we won't know until we get into the rest of the weekend and into Monday. So we'll keep that open, but keep that in mind. We may have some more thunderstorms to deal with there Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening with some lingering showers Wednesday morning. Behind that, we start to fully cool back down. Thursday looks like the coolest day of the work week, only topping out in the low to mid 70s before we gradually climb back up towards 80 by Saturday. So let me go ahead and take a look at some of the comments, see if I can answer any questions for you. Suzanne is saying good evening to you. Same thing to you, Cheyenne. William says we only got 0.08 inches here at Bosse Field. What was the airport reading? I can actually go and look that up real quick. In the meantime, I'm going to continue to look at some of your questions here. Zach Seats is saying good evening to you. Hopefully you all had a great day. I know we had a couple of those thunderstorms earlier, but it didn't end up being too bad. A lot of that stayed off to our north and east. It looks like we only got 0.04 of an inch at the Evansville Airport today, so not much here at the Evansville Airport either, William. Laura Gray is watching from Dawson Springs. Thank you for tuning in. Fisher saying, thank God. I'm assuming he's talking about the storms being over for the night. And Ricky Brown says, thank you. And you're very welcome. That's what we're here for. We kind of track things out for you and make sure everybody's aware of the situation and making sure everybody's as safe as they can be. That's all the questions and comments that I'm seeing. So I'm going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe and have a great rest of your night.